Well, at this time, Mario Barrios is going to fight Manny Pacquiao in July.
At 46 years old, most professional boxers have long left the ring behind, choosing instead to enjoy retirement or take up quieter roles like coaching or commentary. But Manny Pacquiao is not like most fighters. The iconic A division world champion is challenging the expectations of age and time, gearing up for a dramatic return to the boxing world. He's stepping back into the ring for a high-stakes comeback fight against the young and hungry welterweight contender Mario Barrios. Inside his intense training camp, Pacquiao is showing the world that his legendary speed, strict discipline, and unbreakable warrior mindset haven't disappeared with age. His eyes are set on redemption and legacy. This isn't just a fight. For Pacquiao, it's a personal mission to remind the world that true greatness doesn't come with an expiration date, and that legends never stop chasing history.
I said I did it, my nigga. Now watch me go all year. Yeah, down it. Nigga, they fear. You go to them. Yeah, you can show fucking hoes. Me making this. Niggas dying for supply. No that pushing the air.
Promoter Eddie Hearn has voiced his opinion that even at 46, Manny Pacquiao still has what it takes to outbox most fighters who are ranked outside the top 15 or 20 in the welterweight division, although he admits that Pacquiao is no longer in peak form due to aging and several years of inactivity. Hearn still sees the boxing legend as a dangerous opponent. He emphasizes that Pacquiao's deep experience and brilliant ring IQ make him a serious threat. From a business perspective, Hearn says Pacquiao's return is a smart move, especially when matched against opponents like Mario Barrios' talented fighters, who haven't yet reached the elite level like Terrence Crawford or Jaron Boots Ennis. However, Hearn does caution that after being out of the ring for so long, Pacquiao could struggle with timing and endurance. He warns that while a comeback might be possible, it must be done thoughtfully and strategically to avoid unnecessary risks.
147, kind of a weird spot right now. We're looking at Manny Pacquiao potentially facing Mario Barrios. What do you think of that fight?
Yeah, I think that, it's a very contentious subject. Like, people moaning about Manny Pacquiao. I think Manny Pacquiao is still good enough to beat most fighters in the top 20 at 147 pounds. He's clearly not the fighter that he once was. You're not going to be at that age. My problem is that he's been inactive for quite a long time. Like we were talking about fighting him with Conor Benn maybe 6 months ago or a year. And every month or 3 months or 6 months that passes, you do become a lot older. So, I guess there's two questions. One is, should he be fighting again? And at the end of the day, if he's good enough to beat everybody outside of the top 20 in the world, then why not? But should he be fighting for the world title? I guess that's another question. In the commercial world of boxing, the answer is yeah, probably. In the ratings world and activity world, the answer is probably not.
Do you think it's strange that he's coming off the couch and getting a title fight like that?
I think when you've achieved what he's achieved, you've always got the right to do things a little bit differently to others. And with all due respect, Barrios is not Boots and Barrios is not Crawford. And that's why, we pushed the Conor Benn fight. Conor Benn, like, his best win is against Algieri or Van Heerden. So actually Pacquiao is a step up, and people were still complaining at me for mentioning that fight, like Conor Benn is Boots, but he still hasn't had those wins yet.
Manny Pacquiao's last appearance in a professional boxing match was back in August 2021, where he fought Yordenis Ugas and lost by unanimous decision. After that defeat, Pacquiao stepped away from boxing. Promoter Eddie Hearn has pointed out that long periods of inactivity can harm a fighter's performance, especially someone older. Even though Pacquiao's decision to return is admirable, boxing at the top level is extremely physically demanding. At 46 years old, getting back into championship condition and competing against younger, more active fighters presents serious challenges. Despite these difficulties, Pacquiao's decades of experience and sharp boxing mind still make him a dangerous force. In the welterweight division, his return against Mario Barrios for the WBC welterweight title in July 2025 shows that his ambition to stay at the top remains strong. Still, the outcome is uncertain, considering the toll that time takes on the body. Back in September 2021, Pacquiao officially announced his retirement to focus on his political career, including his run for the Philippine presidency in 2022. He acknowledged the physical limitations he experienced, like leg cramps during his final fight, and admitted that it was time to shift his focus. In his retirement speech, Pacquiao expressed heartfelt gratitude for boxing, the sport that helped him rise from poverty and become an inspiration to millions. "It's hard for me to accept that my time as a boxer is over," he said, marking the end of a historic 26-year career where he became the only boxer to win world titles in 8 different weight classes.
2015. Remember that one. Pacquiao is now planning to run for president in his native Philippines this upcoming May. But Shannon, how will you remember Manny as a boxer?
Historically great fighter.
Good for you.
The only fighter to win 8 world titles. I mean, he started out boxing, he was 106 pounds, won a title at, I think, 112, and went all the way up to
108 first.
Went all the way up to 154.
It's impossible. It's just...
I don't believe, I feel very comfortable and said, I don't believe we'll ever see that again, Skip.
We'll never see it again.
And it wasn't like he was fighting bums. When you go back and look at Marco Antonio Barrera and Eric Morales and Oscar Larios and De La Hoya and Hatton and Cotto, Margarita, Mosley, Timothy Bradley, Mayweather. Skip. I mean, what do you got to say? He was a champion in 4 different decades.
Yep.
Fighter of the year. First ballot Hall of Fame. He's great. He fought everybody.
Sports analyst Stephen A. Smith shared his heartfelt thoughts on Manny Pacquiao's retirement. During a short video tribute, he expressed his admiration for Pacquiao's incredible accomplishments, especially his status as the only A-division world champion in boxing history. Smith highlighted not only Pacquiao's talent and success inside the ring, but also praised his humility, work ethic, and inspirational impact outside of it. Now, Pacquiao is set to make a shocking return to the ring at 46 years old, facing WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios in July 2025. This fight marks his first professional bout since his 2021 loss to Yordenis Ugas. Despite being away from boxing for 4 years, Pacquiao is hoping to add yet another title to his legendary resume. The match is scheduled to take place at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas on July 19, 2025, though it depends on the outcome of his Senate re-election campaign in the Philippines on May 12th. Barrios, who is 29, has a record of 29 wins, 2 losses, and 1 draw with 18 knockouts. He became the interim WBC welterweight champion after beating Ugas in 2023. And was upgraded to full champion in 2024 after Terrence Crawford moved up to the 154-pound division. Barrios defended his title with a split draw against Abel Ramos in late 2024. Pacquiao's return has stirred mixed reactions. Some fans are thrilled, while others are worried about whether he can still perform at a high level after so much time away. WBC President Mauricio Suleiman supported Pacquiao's right to challenge for a title, noting the organization allows iconic former champions to request title fights after retirement. For Pacquiao, this fight isn't just about the belt, it's a chance to solidify his legacy and perhaps make history once again as the oldest welterweight champion ever.
In a world title fight against the WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios. Date yet to be confirmed, venue yet to be confirmed, but it looks like it will be in July and in Las Vegas. Massive news announced yesterday by the WBC president, and you know, it was so out of left field. You know, Pacquiao hasn't fought professionally since 2021. That was 4 years ago. He was 41 at the time, and of course he lost to Yordenis Ugas, the very, very tricky Cuban fighter. Convincingly lost to Yordenis Ugas, and in that fight 4 years ago, as I say,
trainer Greg Hackett didn't mince words when he gave his honest opinion about Manny Pacquiao's surprising comeback fight against Mario Barrios. Speaking openly, Hackett said that if this matchup had happened several years ago, Pacquiao would have dominated Barrios without much trouble, but now, things have changed. Hackett stressed that this version of Pacquiao is far removed from the explosive fighter, who once overwhelmed opponents with lightning speed and brutal combinations. At 45, Pacquiao simply doesn't have the same quickness, stamina, or fierce drive he used to. Hackett labeled this bout more of a money-making spectacle than a true showdown between two fighters at their physical peak. According to him, it's less about competition and more about entertainment, a major event designed to draw crowds and cash in on Pacquiao's name rather than prove who the better fighter is today.
Sound like Pacquiao trying to hit a lick, you know what I mean? But Pacquiao not Pacquiao no more. It's tough to go against him in this situation, because if it was some years ago, Pacquiao would beat Barrios. But right now, Barrios, with his momentum, might run and beat Pacquiao up. I mean, not knock him out, but, you know what I mean, beat him on the cards, beat him behind that jab.
Similar to like Ugas, the Ugas fight?
Yeah, like on shit like that. It's a good fight, but it's more of a good fight for Barrios. Pacquiao don't need it, but Pacquiao want to come back, and he want to come back with a bang, so, I mean, why not? If he could make it happen, make it happen. Because I would love, if Barrios was my fighter, I would love to have a Pacquiao on the record. I mean, I would love something like that. And that's a fight you got to get ready for.
The legendary Filipino boxer is officially returning to the ring to challenge current WBC welterweight champion Mario Barrios this July. This will be his first professional fight since August 2021, when he lost to Yordenis Ugas by unanimous decision. The bout has been confirmed by WBC President Mauricio Suleiman, who called it a tremendous fight during an interview with Boxing King Media. For boxing fans all over the world, this is more than just a fight, it's a major moment in the sports history as one of its all-time greats steps back into the spotlight. After that 2021 loss, Pacquiao announced his retirement to pursue a political career, including a run for the presidency in the 2020 Philippine elections. During his time away from boxing, he stayed active in public service and charitable work. Rumors of a comeback have floated around for years, but now it's real. Barrios, known for his power and technical skill, currently holds the famous green WBC belt. For Pacquiao, this return means more than just fighting, it's another chance to etch his name deeper into the history books. If he wins, he'll become the oldest welterweight champion in history, adding one more record to his already legendary career. Some fans believe this comeback shows that elite fighters can still compete at an older age, while others worry about the toll it could take on Pacquiao's body. Regardless of what happens, this fight has already sparked massive excitement. There's also growing talk that this could be a strategic first step toward one last mega fight. Rumors suggest that if Pacquiao beats Barrios and claims the WBC title, he could challenge Gervonta Tank Davis, a young star and knockout machine. Some believe Barrios was chosen because he's a beatable yet credible opponent, one who could give Pacquiao the momentum and title he needs to pursue a much bigger showdown. If that's the plan, this comeback could be more than a farewell, it might be the beginning of one last epic run.
So basically, your interpretation is that the boxing public is upset because they believe Pacquiao's going to beat Barrios, which is going to lead to a Tank Pacquiao fight?
Yes, look around. Look in the Discord. That's what everybody, Pac and Tank, that's being set up.
Oh,
Tank
so,
and Pac.
okay, so they saying Barrios is the setup for Tank and Pac. I didn't see that, but your argument makes sense. If he beats Barrios, there's nothing wrong with him fighting Tank. But the issue is he don't deserve the Barrios fight off of 3 years off and a loss to Ugas.
Next, Crimea River, man. That's what boxing is. But longer deserve a Canelo fight.
If Manny Pacquiao defeats Mario Barrios, it could pave the way for one of the most thrilling matchups in recent boxing memory, a potential super fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. The storyline practically writes itself. Two fast, powerful southpaws from very different generations colliding on the biggest stage in boxing. On one side, Pacquiao, the legendary 8-division champion, making a bold return to prove he can still compete with the sport's best. On the other, Davis, the undefeated knockout artist and one of the most exciting stars of this era, eager to add a legend's name to his resume. This fight would grab attention far beyond just boxing fans. With both men commanding huge audiences, the bout could become a global pay-per-view sensation, rivaling the biggest boxing events of the past decade. The styles of both fighters would add even more drama. Both are fast, aggressive, and capable of ending fights with a single shot. It would be the classic clash of a wise old lion versus a hungry young king. Whether it becomes a symbolic passing of the torch or Pacquiao's final declaration of greatness, the stakes would be massive. Analyst Max Kellerman has even argued that Pacquiao belongs in the conversation for the greatest pound-for-pound boxer in history, while Sugar Ray Robinson is often seen as the all-time best due to his dominance and longevity. Kellerman says Pacquiao's accomplishments are just as remarkable, winning world titles in 8 different weight divisions, defeating elite fighters in nearly every one, and staying competitive well into his 40s sets him apart. While Robinson's peak might still be unmatched, Pacquiao's overall career full of unique challenges and victories makes him a serious contender for boxing's top honor.
He also has a case for greatest fighter, pound for pound, who ever lived. Think about, by the way, I don't think he wins that argument. Sugar Ray Robinson is safely ensconced in that position. But Henry Armstrong, Muhammad Ali, Harry Greb, Sam Langford, Floyd Mayweather, Pernell Whitaker, whoever else you want to mention, put Pacquiao's resume up to those guys.
Manny Pacquiao's prime fighting years are often linked to his performances between the 140 to 147 pound weight classes. During that time, he delivered some of the most memorable and dominant wins of his career. His unmatched speed, devastating power, and relentless attack overwhelmed opponents who were naturally bigger than him, adding to the legend of his incredible versatility. It was also during this era that fans were eagerly demanding a showdown between Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather, as both fighters were considered the best in the world in the same division. Boxing experts often point out that while Mayweather may have had the advantage in terms of size and defensive skills, Pacquiao's ability to rise through the weight classes and still dominate made his pound-for-pound status extremely strong. Most fighters lose some of their power, speed, or effectiveness when moving up in weight, but not Pacquiao. He remained explosive and dangerous against world-class competition. His run from 140 to 147 pounds showcased his rare ability to adapt, adjust, and win against fighters with physical advantages. His achievements across 8 divisions, particularly during that stretch, have earned him widespread respect and a lasting place among the greatest boxers in history.
Had a way of ranking baseball players that I came across as a kid and thought that's really smart. You have to rank them at their best and then also over the course of their careers. Because when you have that argument, are you talking about who accomplished the most or what heights did they reach? What peak did they reach? Take either for Pacquiao. Take his peak. Was it at 140 pounds when he obliterated Ricky Hatton, Miguel Cotto, and then Oscar De La Hoya, though that was at 147? Was that Pacquiao's peak? Because remember, that's when the Mayweather-Pacquiao hype actually reached fever pitch. Oh my God, these are 2 of the best fighters we've ever seen, and they're both in their primes.
Boxing insiders are split when it comes to Manny Pacquiao's decision to return to the ring. Some are thrilled by the idea of seeing the legend back in action, while others are more cautious. Promoter Ben Shalom, head of Boxer, shared a thoughtful and balanced opinion. He understands the deep emotional pull boxing has for legendary fighters, the desire to relive past glory, thrill fans one more time, and compete at the highest level again. For a warrior like Pacquiao, those motivations are especially powerful. However, Shalom also pointed to the real dangers of returning late in a career. He mentioned other greats who came back only to suffer injuries or tarnish their reputations. If you've made enough money, sometimes you just have to protect your health, he said. His comment reflects a serious concern in the boxing world, the long-term health of fighters who've already sacrificed so much. Pacquiao is famous for his discipline and conditioning, but even he can't escape the realities of age and ring rust. Facing a younger, sharper opponent after years away from competition is physically and mentally demanding. Shalom's remarks reflect a common sentiment in the sport: respect for Pacquiao's legendary achievements, but also hope that he won't risk his health or legacy for one fight too many.
Thank you to Manny Pacquiao. Unbelievable career that we may never have a career like that again. I want you to take with you, when it comes to Manny Pacquiao, is moments. By taking themselves out of a comfort zone challenging themselves. And Manny Pacquiao is a dinosaur when it last of a dying breed. We're not going to see too many fighters like this ever again. And Pacquiao is going to be the type of fighter that we tell our kids about. Pacquiao has 20 wins, greater than some of your favorite fighters' best win. Manny Pacquiao has 3 Hall of Fame careers in one, winning legit titles in 8 different weight classes. Pacquiao's legacy will age better and better and better. Times go on and on and on. A fighter like Floyd Mayweather, I think his legacy will diminish a little bit. Salute to Manny Pacquiao, one of the greatest of all time.